right. Thanks for joining us for episode 23 of the War Room. I have a winner, a second place, and a third place in tonight's podcast. And we'll start with Evan. Evan King, newest addition to the 10,000 Win Club. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
We want to get into that. And then we also got Chance Smith, who took a second place. And then I was the unfortunate third of these three. So, guys, we're just like 48 hours removed from literally being on the track, looking at each other, and competing at the highest level, especially with the talent you guys got. And the sportsmanship that you guys have to come on here and talk about all this is really, really cool, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's get into this, man. Evan, tell us the story. You've been chasing this for 15 years, you said, or there's some 15s going on. Tell me that. Tell me about it.
Well, this is my 15th year running demos. My number is 15, and my first big show I ever won was for 15 grand. So I've been after it for a while.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man.
I ran my first big show in 2017. I ran the Bash, and that's since I've been going for a big one since then.
So you've been chasing it for like 6 years.
Yep.
Chance, how long have you been running these big shows?
Honestly, 2019, I'd say, is whenever we went to Vegas and we started running there. That's whenever I started really trying to up my game and trying to hit most of the shows. And then obviously with the business and stuff, that kind of took a lot of time off our plates. So now we're kind of to the point where we're like, okay, we need to start hitting these big shows instead of going and vending, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'd say, but 2019, I started kind of hitting the shows here and there. So
yeah, there's such a unique, different. You got PA, New York, Ohio, all meeting in PA. I know, Evan, you're a part of that crew. Some of the guys in your crew have won some big shows. You guys have been around the country. People are very familiar with you guys, especially coming west. And then obviously, Chance, you guys got the parts business. Smith Metalworks is known nationwide. Obviously that speaks for itself. So, guys, I know Chance and I would feel a lot better if we had 15K in our pocket right now.
Yeah.
But the man, there's only one of them that has 15K. Walk us through your weekend, man. Leading up to the weekend, and then what kind of, did you have any adversity at the track? Who'd you have there with you? All that stuff.
Yeah, I started the car. I actually started at like the end of September, and between working and everything, I only really had like 3 weeks into building it. And getting down there was a little bit of a struggle. Me and two of my buddies were supposed to go down. We were all pretty committed, and they both kind of backed out on me with a couple weeks to go. And I was thinking about backing out myself, actually.
Chance, we would have really liked it.
Yeah.
Gosh, dang.
My girlfriend told me, she's like, well, you've spent enough time away from me and the baby that you better get down there and try it.
I
figured I can either go and get my butt kicked with all my buddies, or I could go get my butt kicked by myself. So figured I went down there and try it.
Now, I just have a feeling you guys do your fair share of ass kicking yourself, I think. What do you think, Chance?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd say. Good thing you listened to her.
I know it. I told her that right when she walked out on the track. I said, man, am I glad I listened to you.
Yeah, you better listen to her from now on then.
I know, right?
Yeah.
You got to, what'd she get out of this? She's got to get something. What do you?
Well, back in 21, it was the first year we were together, and I told her if I won the Bash, we'd go to Disneyland. And she's been holding on to that ever since. So I guess we're going there. And I told her every $10,000 show I win, I'm going to put $50 towards the wedding ring.
Yeah. a fair deal.
Yeah, it sounds. I mean, you're going to be getting married quick then, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I got $50 at it now, so
Yeah. Weddings are cheap. Wedding rings are cheap for sure. So that week, the weekend, which heat were you in? I didn't really watch any of the heats.
I was in heat 4.
Okay. So you were in. Who came out of that heat? You, Brady, or no? It wasn't Brady. Who came out of that heat?
It was me, Freebie, and this kid from up here by us, Jackson Pensick.
Okay. So you had the easy way, and then Chance took the long way. He just wanted to work more throughout the weekend.
Right. Yeah. Showed up there, plan A. Plan A went out the window. Plan B. Plan B wasn't too sweet. so didn't work out too well. I mean, it worked out well, but it didn't work out too well. It just caused more work. And then plan C, luckily, we got in there. Wasn't most ideal way, but I guess we were there.
So. I mean, Chance, you were in my heat, and for the most part, I don't think we really hit each other at all.
No.
I think there was enough competition out there. You kind of, I don't know about you guys, but you get in heats with people that are pretty high caliber. There's two options: you get it on, or you just stay away.
Right. There's either that mutual respect, or you either want to just get it out of the way and see if you can cause some grief, but you're better off going you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going the other way, but
that's kind of what happened. And then I know you got hung up, and that forced you to go to the consi.
Yeah, I broke a tie rod early. And ended up getting hung up there at the end. And then flip side, the car was pretty hurt in the heat. I mean, it wasn't as bad as what it was in the consi, but ended up fixing it for the next night. And when the consi stood the car up again in the nose. And then I was like, you know what, tomorrow it's going to be what it is. And then I'm just going to have to adapt, I'm going to have to just drive knowing what I got under me. And then luckily that was the best part of the weekend. I mean, you want to talk about mentally, man, it was the most draining weekend I've been in for a long time. I mean, we went to, Evan, Blizzard Bash going heat.
Yeah, I never want to go back there again.
Working on it, not knowing what the next heat's going to bring. And you know what I mean? And then by the time you get to the big dance, it's like you're already just defeated, tired, and ready to load up. And it's just like, well, let's go get this done. So, but luckily it panned out better than the first two nights. So,
do you guys have pretty solid pit crews with you? Because when you got to wear all the hats, I don't know how it is for you guys, but like sometimes you go to shows and you have some people with you that help. Sometimes you don't. It's draining, man, when you got to go compete against caliber of guys that you guys are, and then you got to build the cars. It's a struggle. I mean, I got 3 or 4 good people that usually come with me, but it's a struggle to get more people.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You definitely learn show after show which ones are, you can go to war with. That's how we always say it. You know what I mean? Who can you have, who's going to have your back, and who's going to be able to help you? You know what I mean? The most. And we have some good guys that usually go out, like when we went to Vegas or Blizzard Bash, we have a few good buddies from around here that, they're circle track guys, but they know when it comes down to it, you got to get some stuff done, and they're more than willing. But this weekend, I mean, I just had my dad and my little cousin Jake, and we dealt with it as we could. And then, the women kept us fed and supported us the most that they could, you know what I mean, here and there. So, but yeah, it was pretty much a little pit crew. So, not bad.
Evan,
you guys took a whole barn to yourselves. I know that.
Yeah, last year I got there, and I got there like 9 o'clock in the morning on Friday, and I was parked all the way out in like the main parking lot, and I'm like, I'm not dealing with that again. So I got down there at like 7 o'clock on Friday morning, drug the girlfriend, the baby, one of my good buddies out of bed, and took them down there. We got that barn. So that made it a lot easier on me for the weekend. staying out of the rain and wind and everything.
Absolutely.
I got a really good crew of guys I brought with me down there. I brought my brother, my buddy Justin Harvey, and Donald Dillenberg. He's my ride or die. He goes everywhere with me. And there's just so many people that were there to help. And I don't know. And then I get through the heat, and I really didn't need much help. Had to pull a quarter panel around and do some 9-wiring was about it.
Yeah, your car looked pretty good. Chance, your car was rough. Evan, your car was looking pretty good, and my car certainly needed some work. I mean, we cut the back end of it off, so we had to do a bunch of work, with that. So you brought all these guys, and you didn't have to do any work.
No, not really. We had like 3 of us tackled it first thing Saturday morning. Got it all pulled around, and we kind of just tinkered around the rest of the day, grilling burgers and drinking beer.
Did the rain play a factor in anything with you guys? Because it wasn't real fun for us.
I was just praying for more.
Yeah. Well, back to the mental part, it was just nobody likes being in the rain, but certainly laying under a car doing 9-wire is a lot of fun doing it Sunday morning before the feature. And then being around that track and running it, and I know what it turns into whenever it rains. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a long mud bog here tonight. Hopefully they get the track straightened out. So, but it seemed like it was pretty good when we went out there. There were some spots here and there, but hardened up quite a bit. So.
Yeah, there was this one spot right when it got down to 3 of us that I think I found that that ended my night. But no, it was all good. I lost the tire early, so it went flat. So I knew it was a matter of time. Let's get into that, guys. Let's get into pulling on the feature. What's your guys' thoughts pulling onto the feature? Where do you think you're going to finish? Do you guys get nervous like I do? Because I'm like so nervous I can't even think straight.
I really don't get that nervous. I just get I just hope I don't screw up. That's my biggest thing. It's I don't get nervous about getting hurt or anything like that. I'm just I hope I didn't miss a bolt or a wire comes loose, or I just start going over all that stuff in my head and thinking everything's going to go wrong. I was driving over there and I was like, man, I think my front tires are going to fall off this thing. It feels weird. And that's just how I get before, and I get all cranky and ornery.
Yeah. I was surprisingly, I think I was so tired that I was pretty calm. I went up and wished everybody good luck, you know what I mean? And just part of me, whenever I get in the car and it's go time, I just run situations through my head, gauging with who's out there and everything else. And I'm like, man, what am I going to do if this happens? And then finally, towards the end of it, I just have to say, you're just going to find out what's going to happen. You're going to have to deal with it one way or the other. You know what I mean? So that kind of gives me a peace of mind. But
did you see Evan in his helmet? That I don't know if everyone knows. I wish I could pull up a picture, but he's got this open face helmet. Do you have this nickname Easy E just because your facial expression never changes when you're out there, or where does that come from?
My buddy gave me that back when I was when I first started demoing. Actually, I was probably 16, 17 years old. He started calling me that because I was such a bagger. And says I'm always taking it easy.
Yeah, did you ever? You had to. I guess you looked at him definitely when we were down to 3 because we're rubbing doors and stuff. To me, it's I sat there and was laughing in my car because his facial expression just never changed. Didn't matter if you smoked him in the wheel or if he smoked you in the wheel. It just calm, cool, collected.
Well, whenever I landed up on your hood there, Dustin, I hit Evan. I feel like I don't know what part of your car I bounced off of, Evan, but I think it was
the front wheel.
I hit your front wheel, your door, and I landed up on Dustin's hood. And I looked over, and I saw you. I saw your face with your open faced helmet. I was like, "Are you all right?" Hopefully, I didn't get you. But like Dustin just said, you were completely just not phased at all. I think you might have wiped your face like this and then just kept going. But I was laughing.
I've got a GoPro. I wore a GoPro. Like, this is the first time I've ever done this, and it's really cool footage. We posted a couple videos, but I have like a video of that shot, and I mean, that stuff burnt. Like, it took me a second to collect my thoughts because I mean, I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, me either, to be honest with you. I did not expect to land up on your hood.
Evan, and when that happened, and obviously Chance was up on my hood, my motor died. It stalled because what happened is the radiator got pushed straight in the fan, so my fan tore my radiator up when that happened. So I had to restart my car. Were you thinking you have it? Like, is it over for you in your head?
Yeah, that was the first time I thought I won that Derby. I pulled away and I thought to myself, I'm like, should I just go shoehorn this thing under Chance's front end? So if he does get off, he isn't going to move, or should I just roll under him and not risk getting hung up and stuck and just hope that he doesn't get off? And then I made that little tunk and I pulled away and I'm like, yep, this is mine. I was pretty much going to blow a donut down at the end of the track. And then you guys came tearing back out of there and we derbied for 21 minutes.
Yeah, I got her fired up. I would have been pretty disappointed if she didn't fire up at least one time when that. But I'm telling you, that fan went through the radiator, and it took me more time to gather my thoughts because all that hot water just came into my face.
Oh yeah,
that I was not expecting. So, Chance, there probably had to be some times where you thought you won the Derby.
Yeah, I thought, pretty sure you both were stuck. I thought you were stuck. And that's why right down that corner, we kept going to that corner. All of us, we'd all just keep fighting in that corner. And I kept pulling away. And that was my game plan. I said, if I keep clean, someone's going to have to either get stuck on each other, get stuck. And I was like, I'm just going to keep pulling out, going back in, you know what I mean? And for a second there, I remember we all we're in a straight line and I hit Evan. I thought Evan bumped up on top of you. And I was like, oh, maybe he's stuck on there, or maybe Dustin's stuck or something. And I remember just pulling away and there was no movement. And I was like, oh, I think the plan worked. And then I see Evan back off and you go straight. And I'm like, damn it. You know what I mean? This is just getting longer. But
did you guys know go ahead, Evan. Sorry.
The only time I thought I had it lost is when I went chooching down through there, and when I broke Chance's axle and got stuck up on top of his tire, and I'm like, oh, he's just going to put this thing in drive. I'm going to shoot right off here, and we're going to be good to go. But then he put it in drive, and I didn't really feel anything happening under there, and I'm like, oh, boy, I might have just got myself a good one here.
Yeah, you did.
That was probably the moment that I thought I had it won. And you were up on his tire, and I was in a situation, it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. I was like, all right, I got a clean shot on Evan right here on his front tire. But, you guys are stuck. You guys were only stuck for probably 20 minutes or 20 seconds. Sorry. And I mean, it was pretty quick. And I was like, oh, I mean, this is like a gift. This would have been crazy to end like this. And obviously that was pretty much the only time that I think I was like, oh, I think I have a chance. This is it. The rest of the time, I mean, it was just a war. I thought for sure somebody was going to get stuck somewhere, and inevitably it was me. But did you guys see that I had a tire down? Did that play any factor into how you guys drove?
I saw the smoke and I saw it starting to tear. And then I just kept, like I said, the nose of my car was pretty hurt the whole time. So I didn't use it barely at all. You know what I mean? And I just used the back to my advantage the most I could. So that's like the I don't know if it was Devin or Brady. I don't know which one is really which, but I saw his car going down in the back, and I just kept thinking, mine's out of the tires. It's flipping up. If he keeps coming underneath me, and I keep putting the weight on it, you know what I mean? Hopefully it'll just go down and down and down. And I think it ended up going down to where that's what he got stuck on. But with you, I was just like, maybe if I can keep getting him somewhat diagonal tire shot, you know what I mean? Riding up there, if I can get that tire shredded the rest of the way, or I don't know. But you kept moving pretty good, and even without a tire, you know what I mean? I think you were moving pretty good. So it was just hard. It was like, man, how every time you pull up, you're just like, how am I gonna get this done? You know, because it was just going and going and going, and none of us were quitting, none of us were stalling, none of us were, you know what I mean? None of the parts of the cars were even budging. No steering, you know, was coming undone on any of our cars. So it was just like, at one point, I'm just like, man, I don't know how this is gonna end. You know,
Evan, what's your thoughts?
When I saw you had that passenger side tire down, my thought was, like on my bumper caps, I make my bumper cap and my like bumper bracket out of the same piece of steel, and I leave it hanging like a half inch below my bumper. And it's not really for this reason, but I was kind of thinking about it for this reason. Is when I go back to back with you, I try to get in the corner of that bumper on the top of your tire, just hoping you cut it, and hoping you cut it, just lean on you, and either you'd spin or get. I was hoping you either with my weight on you, you'd spin and get stuck, or you'd cut your other tire open, and we could just kind of wait it out after that.
Well, I guess that explains why you tip like going. Yeah, I mean, it makes total sense. I felt like I was on such borrowed time, and I kept looking at your guys' cars, and I just didn't like I just didn't see a way to beat either one of you. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, man, my weapons are kind of gone. I felt like the asset of my car was pretty much used up, and I didn't want to use the nose because it was hurt, already. It was like, man, I think I got to get these guys stuck. Like that's the only way, or they got to get hung up. Um, that's real interesting to get that point of view. I appreciate you guys, elaborating on that. That's pretty cool stuff.
I just kept the nose clear of your back. That's all. I said, Dustin gets underneath me, it's gone. And I said, if Evan gets underneath me, it's gone, you know? So I think that's why I think pretty much all of us can agree on that. You know what I mean? Or Evan can on yours, you know what I mean? Just keeping the nose clear of your car, or vice versa. So,
yeah, by the end of it, like your car was getting so low in the back, I started to not really to get too scared of it, because every time I'd hit you, I just drive up into the back, and like I could just feel my tires rolling up in there. Like there was no tension on my steering wheel. I couldn't feel like anything jarring me really. So that's when I really started committing on like not hitting you hard or anything like that. I just kept driving up there and parking there, and I was just hoping you'd get impatient and stand on it, and it just buried to the ground, you know?
Yeah, you got your wish. One time, maybe the tire's pretty much gone. Maybe I just lost so much of the tire. I don't think I got on it any more than what I normally would have, or throughout the derby. I think I just lost, what I had. But what was really cool about this, looking back at it, is derbying has become a steering game, right? And the fact that all three of us were able to wheel it down to 3, but then also have the battle that we did, and no one lost steering. I don't think anyone lost any steering at all, did they?
nope.
No, I didn't. I couldn't believe it because I took a bunch of wheel shots.
Yeah, and you guys know damn well, like everyone's hitting wheels. So the fact that nobody lost any steering was a testament. You need some luck, but a testament to your guys' equipment, and your driving skill too. Yeah, you took some. Everyone's going to take some, but to avoid the killer shots,
Mm-hmm.
We got some comments coming in. Thanks Thanks, Brian. I hate to be the third of the group, but thanks. Appreciate it.
Nah, nothing to be ashamed of there. That was a hard derby to get wheeled down to, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're not. I mean, obviously, Allen's aren't in here. I don't know who got sixth, but Allen's I think got fourth, fifth, and who was in sixth?
It was that red Cadillac.
Cody is his name, Cody Clanky or something.
Yep, that's
Yeah,
who.
that's what.
Yep. Yeah, he
Yeah,
came.
me and him were going at it there for a while, and we kind of made a little bit of a thumbs up deal there, like let's go back together.
Yeah.
And then I went back together. I kind of thought there were more cars going still, and I'm like, well, I guess me and him will hang out for a little bit. And I look around, and it was all my buddies pretty much. So I had to kind of go back on my deal and plant them on the wall.
Yeah. What do you guys think of the Reapers coming out? Did they affect any of you guys?
Well, Hendrickson took that tire out right away.
What's that?
He took my tire out. Like, as soon, would they come in? Did they come in at 5 minutes or
5 minutes? Yeah.
So at 5 minutes, he literally came in, and I was at the other end. I don't know if you guys thought about this, but I was thinking like, all right, I know the Reapers are at 5 minutes, so at some point I'm going to work my way down there, just so when they come in, they don't blast me. Well, of course, I was just wide open. And he came in, and I got that flat 5 minutes into that derby. Yeah. Yeah, and look, Brian says it was the only hit he made. He came down, smoked me, and then at that point, I'm thinking, well, I mean, somebody hits me that hard. Obviously, you're thinking like, I got to get this guy out because I can't get hit like that again. And I looked down the track, and he's just sitting there sideways with his stick broke. So, yeah, that affected me for sure.
No, when last year when I ran down there, I kind of went to every other driver that wasn't a Reaper, and I said, just pay attention to that gate. There's only one way they can come in, and when you see a car pulled up there, let's just all pile down there all at once. And this year I was down at the end of the track where you were at, Dustin. I think we were right next to each other, actually. And I was backing up once, and I thought I saw a front bumper at the end of the track, and I'm like, I got to get this thing spun around, and I'm going to get right down there next to the entrance, so there's no way they can hit me. And by the time I was heading down there, Brian was coming in to try killing you.
So you saw it.
Yeah, I passed him.
I literally thought there's no way he's taking this shot. I look back, and I see him, and I'm like, no way he's coming flying down the track like that. So I spun my ass end out a little bit more, and he went out and got a little bit more of an angle, and oh yeah, he drove straight to the gas tank protector in one shot.
I'm gonna try going where it's a little bit more quiet.
You're fine.
Baby's getting restless.
Chance, do you have kids?
Nope, I did not.
Well,
not mine personally, but stepkids, soon to be stepkids. So
I didn't know if Halloween would affect you tonight. So
no.
Thanks for getting on for that, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess let's keep talking about this feature. Obviously, everybody has alliances out there. And everybody's running with different people. Chance, what were you? Who were you running with? Who'd you talk to?
I had Mel White, and we were pitted by some boys from Michigan, and I think his name's Alex. So he was out there with us, and then I know Hendrickson. You know what I mean? I knew he was going out there, and I just knew that he was going to be Reaper, and we're buddies, and he comes down the area a little bit, so ran with him, but that was about it, really. I didn't have many others. So
Mel kind of went out pretty early. He went out next to me. I felt like Mel and I were going to scrape some paint at some time, and we kind of stayed pretty close, and then his tire fell off. I don't know if anyone got it. I didn't get it, but he just kind of pulled forward and just went whoop in the mud, and I was like, well,
Yeah, I think he spindle nut came off. Then the hub came off. I believe. I think. Pretty sure that's what happened. But
yeah, it looked like that. And then Evan, you were running with everybody on the track. How did that work?
Well, I think you full knew who I was running with.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, I was with you and the Allen boys and a couple guys from up here in New York, and Chance, me and Chance.
yeah, we're
we were
buddies.
Yeah, I've known Chance for quite a few years now.
That's
actually.
what we were joking around before the Derby saying it took us 3 years to even get to be on the same track together, buried alive, because I've been saying for 3 years I wanted to come run with him.
I think I knew you before you guys even started like building Derby parts and stuff.
Oh yeah,
you and your old man.
Yeah, we went to Sandusky, Ohio. Remember?
Yeah, that was the finest ass kicking I've ever taken in my career, I think.
Same here, buddy. Same here. That was a bad show. But we became friends after that.
Yep.
So, yeah, remember you guys came down to our local show, Mercer Grange, and met us because you heard we were running that Sandusky show. And then I remember just watching you guys grow throughout the sport, thinking how awesome it was, that we met on two completely different, we were just two completely different people. And now look at us, we're battling for 15K together. So
I know it.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Talking about those teams and whatnot, I've had people reach out to me and say that it was like a little bit 2-on-1 stuff and at the end. And here's the thing, and here's my opinion on that. I responded to a couple people. Like, why do people get penalized? Why would the team, let's just say that you guys were working together, why would the team that beat everybody else get penalized at the end? Like, I don't even think it was a bad 2-on-1 at all. Like, I think we mixed it up like really well.
Yeah, we did.
But everyone's so quick to point out that, like, even if it was, let's say if it was two Allens against me or any of you guys, like, why are we so quick to point out, like, or, hate on the people that beat everyone else and got to the end? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think us three, I think we mixed it up pretty good. I don't think it was, I saw some comments and what people had said, but I really don't think it was, I don't know, you're down to the money. You know what I mean?
If you're saying I'm on the receiving end of it, I didn't think it was bad. So
no. I wouldn't expect, obviously me and Evan known each other for a while, but we're down to first, second, third. If he's got a shot on me, taking my wheel out, and he were to come up to apologize to me afterwards, I'd say, buddy, I know how much is on the line. I would completely expect you to do that. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, and when it got down to the five of us three and the two Allen boys, I kind of thought to myself, I'm like, well, I think I'm gonna have to completely turn the tides here, and I'm gonna have to go with Chance and see if we can get something done here, because I was fully expecting, like, when it got down to that, I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna be happy with fourth, because these Ohio boys are probably gonna clap my ass here.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't the outcome, bud.
No,
I wasn't gonna let it become the outcome. I was not going down. I just wanted to keep going. So it was good though. It was good.
Well, and what's really cool is like that, like I said, 48 hours removed, we can have this conversation and just chalk it up to your competitors on the track, and you're going to do whatever you got to do to win, because dude, a lot of times it's not like that. And I personally have a ton of respect for you guys. Evan more from afar, until this past weekend, because I didn't really know you personally. But I had a ton of respect for the old Smith Metalworks deal,
Yeah.
because you guys are just you guys are just, I mean, you guys are really good at what you do, and I know it was going to be a battle, and I think this is really cool to get on here and talk about this. And I bet you if we hit the track tomorrow night, it wouldn't be any, it wouldn't be any different. We would
Yeah.
be trying to win, and that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you didn't go there for me. I didn't go there for you. So, and I don't expect it. I don't expect that at all. But definitely, like you said, it's definitely not common anymore that people can get together and shake hands and be sportsmen. It's want the sport to grow. You know what I mean? You got to have that. I mean, at the stage that we're at, the level we're at, that should be expected out of everybody. You know what I mean? It's not that whole feature. You know what I mean? Just be able to go in the feature. I mean, you're talking the equipment, the drivers, you know what I mean? The money on the line. I mean, that you got to be held to a higher standard. You know what I mean? Sure, there was some things on the track that, could have definitely been solved or prevented a little bit early, but it is what it is, and I'm glad we had the experience that we did, and now that we're able to talk about it, maybe this can help other people to learn that it doesn't always have to be flipping each other off, throwing fists, and not being professional.
Yeah, there were a couple things like over the weekend. In my heat, it was me, Jackson Pensick, and Freebie were running together, and there were a couple guys from New York that were out there in our heat, and we got the first few cars out, and it got down to me, Freebie, and Jackson, and there were two guys from New York that they're not. I mean, I'm not like buddies with them, hang out with them every day, but I got after them a little bit, and I kind of felt bad after the heat about it because I wasn't really going to plan on picking that fight with Freebie in the heat. I wasn't going to lump myself up in the heat. And then I was talking to Gilliam, and he says, "Well, you're here for Evan King to win $15,000, not any of your buddies from New York, And that kind of made it a little bit better, but I still kind of feel bad. I haven't talked to him since, but
the sport needs this though. Like the sport, like we know that last weekend that Evan got the best of us, and he got the best of everybody else on the track.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave it everything I got. I know you did.
Yeah.
And the sport deserves that. Like I feel like anything but that is just selling the sport short. And I just like the splitting thing was a big thing in Ohio for a long time. I know it happened at mostly county fairs, but there were some big shows that splitting happened too. And I'm not saying anything bad about it. I just wish those things would have played out, because we are there to provide entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
and each one of us have, fans that, and we also have, I don't know if you guys heard or saw any audio, but there were some boo birds out there too.
I did see that.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that either. I'm from my in-car experience, by the way, is like there wasn't. I don't know if fans don't understand what's happening in the car, but I was really busy. The hits might not have been great, or big hits, but you guys kept me like really busy. I mean, I was active inside that car, and I know you guys obviously had to be too. I mean, there's just so much going on that the fans don't really see. So it's I'm glad that we provided that for the sport. And look, each one of us, of course, when we hit the track again together, it's when it gets down to us three, we want it to go a different way, but it is what it is.
Yeah, go out there, give it everything you got, But like you said, Evan capitalized on an opportunity, and he got the better hand, and that's the beauty of it. That's what I love about it. It could have been in any one of ours hands. I know it was right there for me. I'm like 15 grand right here. Just like, right there, just stay at it, stay disciplined, stay patient, and then Evan got it, and I told him, how happy I was for him. unbelievable. You know, I can't wait to experience that one day. You know what I mean? But that night was not my night. It was your night. So
Yeah, I
congratulations.
still
Yeah.
thank you. I still can't even hardly wrap my head around it. Like I thought yesterday, I told my girlfriend, I'm like, when we get home, I'm gonna rewatch it and maybe it'll sink in then. And I rewatched it and I'm like, I don't know, this still really hasn't even hit me that I won it. You know, like I replay it back in my head. I was thinking about it today when I was thinking about what I was gonna say on here. And I was just I felt like I had such a clear head when I was driving out there, like at the end of it. And Chance was coming around, he had that broken axle. I thought his transmission was burning up or something. And I just sat there and it felt like I was watching him drive around there for 5 minutes. And I'm like, if he comes behind the back of that Allen Boy's car, I'm going to huck him up on the back of it and we're going to call it a day. This is mine. And it's almost like I had a controller driving in there. Or like, I don't know. I couldn't have thought it to be any perfect. I'm like, there's no way he's going to come right there. There's no way. And then it happened. And
Yeah.
I thought right there, I was like, man, it's done. It's all over with. But I thought that twice before that in the night too. So I really wasn't counting on her too far. And then TJ threw the red flag and he was walking out on the track. And I'm like, man, is he coming out to yell at me or something? Like, I don't know what's going on here. And he held up number one and I about busted out in tears. I was so happy because I've been chasing it for so long.
Yeah. That's awesome.
We congrats on that, by the way, man. It's very well deserved, and there's a lot of respect here from both of us.
Absolutely.
I've been fortunate enough to win one. I know what it means. I know you're going to get yours. So
next year.
Yeah. Next year.
That's what I said. I just texted TJ and Jacob. I said, don't you get rid of that $15,000. I have to win it. So
yep. And you know, we did some research earlier this year and we put together a 10,000 to win list. And it's not perfect because it's hard to get, collect that much information.
Yeah. Yep.
But Easy, you are the newest member of that 10,000 to win list, man. And,
Finally.
There's not a lot of people on it, man. I mean, it's an impressive list and it really says something. So dude, when it'll kick in is when somebody says to you, because they've said it to me like, oh, you don't have a big win. I'll be like, yeah, I do. And then you can say like, yeah, I got that trophy right over there. You see that? That was 15,000. And when you can say that to somebody when they claim you don't have a big win, then it kicks in like, yeah, man, I did do that,
My favorite part is like we usually travel pretty deep with guys. We usually take 4 or 5 guys everywhere we go with us, and I just kind of went down there by myself and made some friends along the way and pulled it off,
Yeah.
We got a couple more comments coming in that I want to talk about. Brian says he's sitting in the stands and just the commentary, of the casual fan just doesn't understand. It's kind of like our job, and part of the reason to do these podcasts and open up on social media more, I think, is to educate the casual fan of how much time, effort, and money that we have in these cars. That, hey, look, if it does take an extra 20 minutes to get this to play out, please let it play out. Don't sell us short because we put everything we had into this. I know you guys did. And I certainly did too. So the boo bird, it's hard to hear.
Oh yeah. I mean, when you're running against, the guys just that feature of the last top 5, you know what I mean? You got to almost drive as flawless. You're thinking flawless. You cannot mess up. You cannot screw up. So that was playing in the back of my head, but I think we all did pretty much as close to flawless, driving on all. I mean, that's why it took so long. It's a good thing that it took so long to beat you, to beat us or to beat the other ones, because it showed us how resilient we are, and what all the preparation led to. So,
Yeah, and watching the video, like a lot of the boos were coming. I heard a lot of the boos in the video. Like I'd see a shot on one of you guys, and then I'd get 15 foot away from you, and something would change. Like either you'd move, or I would see something that kind of changed my thought on that shot, and I'd turn at the last minute and pull up next to you, you know, or I get into the like I come scooting across the track and I get up in the back of Dustin and I just kind of hang out there for a second. And I don't think people really realize like kind of what I was trying to get at there, you know? Like I'm not going to come down through the back and try knocking Dustin's head clean off his shoulders and hope that I can, because like what people don't understand is when it got down to the three of us, if you're making big bomb shots on the back of these cars and stuff, you're not hurting the car, you're hurting the guy behind the wheel, you know?
You know, to elaborate on that, I set my wagon up and I cut it off. I only had basically 2 rails to hit people with. And, you know, I've heard the people say, oh, here you are sandbagging. But when you talk about those shots, I have to be so calculated with my shots that if it changes, I don't want to go underneath someone's doors. I don't care about the door shot. The door shot doesn't do anything for me. I care about those 2 tires. So, like when people saw me stop or get into it or not get into it, it's because my weapons are like 4 feet apart and they're only 6 inches big. That's all I had, you know. So it was you got to drive differently. I mean, it does me no favors to early on it did a couple times. I mean, especially before I lost my tire, I could pick you guys up, right? But then once that tire was gone, I couldn't pick you up anymore. And so that shot was negated. I was so low that when I was going underneath the front of you, Evan, you said it, I couldn't get steering anymore. I realized that. So the only thing I could do is line up a 6-inch shot on a rail on a tire. You know, that's it. I mean, it's that's the game within the game. And you know, I think sometimes the casual fan forgets that, you know, that chess match, I guess, that we're playing.
Yeah, and
Go ahead.
and like I was waiting for a while because usually when I run a show like that, I try watching every heat. I try watching the consi, and I kind of try picking out guys that I think are going to be there at the end of the Derby, you know. And I was watching Dustin's heat, and I saw him make a shot with the front of his car, and I saw it flex pretty hard. So I kind of just kept that in the back of my head the whole feature. I'm like, I watched that thing in the heat, and it flexed real hard. And obviously, I saw Chance's car in the consi, and I'm like, that thing was pretty nosed up. And you guys were doing a good job of hiding him there for a while. But once I saw the opportunity, I'm like, I'm gonna try. I don't know if this little Ford's gonna do it, but I'm gonna try nosing one of these GMs a little bit. And I was hoping I was gonna belly one of you or something, but then I just ended up getting smacked in the radiator, so that wasn't really a great idea.
I wanted no business of that Ford. I didn't want anything to do with that Ford on the front end or the ass end of that car.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted that feature with not a weapon in the front or the back. I mean, it was just I'm gonna do it old school. Maybe this thing will bend up and I'll have steering and I'll just wheel it the best I can. You know, that was my thought. I ain't gonna. That's why I kept the nose. I mean, if you watch the feet, I mean, from what I remember, I think from the video too, I only use the nose for pushing people. You know what I mean, or steering them, trying to guide them in the direction, but. As far as using it, Evan, I think me and you went nose to nose one time. Not hard, but I think that's what set mine back. It set it back again. And I was like, see, you know, like if I went a little bit harder with that nose, maybe the outcome wouldn't have been what it was. So that's why I was like, well, good thing I just kind of stuck to my guns and kept it clean and so on and so forth. But
yeah, after we made that shot and you were so much higher than me, I'm like, well, I got to put my nose away now because next one that's coming from him is going to be right straight through my radiator and into the water pump probably.
Yeah.
But then you
See,
put your nose away and I put my nose away.
I was completely different. I was not thinking the same thing at all. I was like, I saw a wiggle, I could just feel like it set back a little bit. And I was like, yep, I'm not doing that again. I'm back to using the back of the car, and didn't work out. So,
Yeah, when it got down to the end there, and you had your nose pointing in the corner, and I had my nose pointing down towards Dustin, and all I was getting was rear end shots and rear end shots and rear end shots, and I'm like, I'm
yeah,
just going to commit on one, and hopefully it takes,
yeah,
and I got you in that. I got you once, and I think that's when my back end did finally take a bend at the end there. I got you in the driver's side wheel, and I thought I would have got your rear end shucked loose or something, but I didn't. So I did it again. And I'm like, well, this might be a bad idea. And then you took off with a broken axle. I didn't even know you had a broken axle.
yeah, yeah. I thought the trans was slipping, to be honest with you. And whenever I got out of heat, someone said broken axle. And I was like, well, never broke a 35 spline. So, first for everything.
You broke an axle. When did you break that?
I broke it right at the end. It had to have been, must have been whenever it just came down to me and Evan. Because I don't think me and you really, I mean, it wasn't, we didn't just me and you, we didn't battle out for that long. I mean, it was like boom, boom,
No, it
boom.
couldn't have been 5-10 minutes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I never
I-
saw you have a broken axle, so I was wondering because I never recognized that at all.
Yeah, and then I looped around, and I knew that track by the stage or by the stands was just terrible. And like how you said about going with the Allen, where that Allen car was, I was just like, there's my escape hole. I'm gonna squeeze it as hard as I can. Hopefully, I'll make it on that other side. You timed it perfect. I mean, you got me 100%. That was awesome. So I mean,
I had that old 7
as
cylinder 383 rocking to get you there.
yeah, yeah.
Was down towards the end, was there anything that was happening to your guys' cars that you thought, like you just said, you're running on 7 cylinders? I didn't quite recognize that. Chance, you broke that, the axle. I felt my drive shaft starting to rub, so I knew I hiked pretty damn high. What was happening in your guys' cars?
I don't know if it was. I think whenever I came off your hood, and I went forward, and you lit it up, and you came and you hit me in the back with your nose. It stood up the back more. Okay, and that blocked my vision. Like I couldn't really see out of the back. I was just doing my best. You know what I mean? Kind of peeking out the window, leaning up in my seat, looking back. So that was like, oh man, there goes my, I might have to start using the nose here a little bit. And I was like, I don't have much in the nose, so here's the changing point how I'm going to start driving. You know what I mean? And so that was my biggest thing, was the back of it. I couldn't really see out of it as well because of that shot you took. So
I couldn't even see that shot, by the way. I guessed where you were at.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't see. I couldn't see out the front of my car. I passed Evan on the left, and I was like, okay, well, there he is. And I just kind of thought I knew where you were. That's kind of just what I thought. I honestly did not know you were actually there. If it was a dead car, I would have smoked it and looked like a fool. Yeah, I wasn't sure. Evan, what was going on in your car?
Well, mine started pretty early because I say running on 7 cylinders, but I think I have a cracked piston in it. I got flipped over at the bash, and when they rolled me back over, they let me go again. And I hit the starter wire, and it was rolling over, and then it just stopped. And then it finally started. And I think something happened to one of the cylinders or something, like it was hydrolocked and cracked a cylinder, because I ran the heat and it ran perfect. Got out in the feature, and it was probably 10 minutes in. And I stabbed on it real good once because it was wet out, and I just saw a bunch of white smoke pouring out of the driver's side header. And I'm like, oh, man, I don't know what's going on here. And I kind of limped it for a little bit, like thinking there was something really going wrong in there. And then never really seemed to lose much power or anything like that. It just in the back of my mind, I'm like, this thing's gonna come apart any second, and I'm gonna be done. You know,
It
that was
felt like-
about it. And then after it was an hour and 20 minutes after I thought that, I'm driving down the track. I'm like, well, I got steering. I haven't seen it huff any steam. I got 20 gallons of gas. We can go another hour if you want.
Yeah.
It felt like to me like that was going to a mechanical failure or someone getting stuck was going to happen. And I know the equipment that you guys have. I was just like, man, I just don't think their equipment's going to fail. And getting them stuck is the only option.
Yep. Same thought here. Exact same thought. I saw that I pulled up one time and the engine started sputtering, and I said, "You better not be running out of fuel." That was my thing. I was like, I putting gas in the tank before the feature. I said, "I am not running out of fuel today." And then as it's going on, and then pull forward and it started sputtering, I'm like, "You better not run out of fuel. You better not run out of fuel." But
That'd be a tough one to swallow. I know some people ran out of fuel at Mayhem this past year. Obviously, it went on a little longer than an hour and 20, hour and 30 minutes, but man, that'd be really tough to swallow.
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think we went for an hour and a half. Was that hour and a half?
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
Yeah, dude, that didn't even. I mean, when it was down to 5, where was that mark at? Does anybody know how long it was when it was down to like 5 or 6? Because I mean,
I don't know.
battled all
It
out.
all seemed like the beginning of it went pretty quick, and then it got
Yeah.
down to the 5 of us, and it held on forever.
Yeah, it was fast. It was everybody out there, and then boom, it was down to 5 or 6. You know what I mean? Like that. But
Yeah, it seemed like it was a while. I mean, especially with just us three. I mean, it was
yeah.
quite a while.
It had to have been 25, 30 minutes with just us three.
Yeah,
You know.
which was a fun time. Zach Duncan, he was out there on the track with us. I must have pinned him up against the wall. Hey, you got to take cars out somehow, man. The wall is your weapon, you know. So
I might have cruised in there and helped get him in the front wheel though. You were up doing that too.
yeah, well, you did actually. I know you did for sure. Hey, man, you get a car in a vulnerable position, you have to take advantage of it because if you don't, it always comes back. So, you know, obviously he got caught in that position, and it is what it is. It ended his night early, but when you guys, he got timed out. Yeah, that was kind of the plan.
That almost got me actually in that feature because I got into it with a car. It was that 5-window Vic that was out there, like with the 3 side windows on it. And I got him into a pretty bad spot pretty early in the feature, and I was working everything pretty hard. And I'm like, you know, this car looks like it's pretty hurt already. I'm just gonna let it go and see if he goes down on his own. And about 5 minutes later, I'm backing down the track, and this guy comes out of nowhere, and he just smoked me in the passenger doors. And he did it like 4 or 5 times in a row. And I'm like, man, I should have put that guy down when I had the chance.
Yeah, for sure.
Any one of those shots that he put on me, if I wasn't paying attention and saw him or heard him coming and got my doors out in front of him, that could have ended my night right there, 20 minutes into the Derby, you know?
Yeah. Dude, when I got smoked in that tire, I'm telling you what, I did not know. I knew something happened because I felt the car go that way. I didn't know if I got the tire fell off. I broke an axle. I had no idea. But I knew it wasn't good. I knew that 5 minutes into the feature. It was like, tonight's not going to be my night. And it was going to be a tough one for me to pull it out for sure. What's your guys' plans for next year? Are you guys done for the year? What are you guys thinking?
Yeah, I'm calling her a wrap. I kind of brought up the idea of Turkey Derby the other day to my girlfriend, and she just kind of gave me a dirty look and said, I think we should be done for the year.
Well, you still got plenty of car left.
I know. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm going to do with it because it's built to those dead man rules. And I was thinking about going back in the spring, but my bash team seems like they want to go back there. So I'm going to have to gut everything out of it and put everything back together. I
Yeah.
don't know.
What are you planning on doing?
Pretty much done for this year. And then in April, there's a team show. We might be hitting up in that Summit indoor team
Okay.
show. Got a couple guys that we're going to be running with. So maybe if we all agree on it, we'll maybe go out there and then definitely dead man next year. Hopefully the rolls and everything kind of stay the same because I love the super stock roll set, and hopefully we can get another ride, and I'll probably call it just those two shows if I do anything. So
Well, you
You're
guys
not going to need 3 years again.
no, not gonna need 3 years.
will
I
you
know
guys
every
choose
time.
the same cars back?
What's
Like
that?
the same? Will you guys choose the same style car for next
No.
year on those rules?
No. Well, I mean, I don't know, man.
If Evan says no, he's a liar. I mean, that thing didn't even move.
If I can find another one, I will.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm a big fan of Vicks too, but I just did not think a 9802 or an 80s car was just the car to take. I mean, I just did not think, and I was just kind of the olds. I was thinking something that's going to have steering when it's bent, you know what I mean? And something that I was comfortable driving. So I'd say next year, I mean, if I can get a wagon, that I think a wagon is just the car to take. I just think they're battleships, or an olds. I got Kenny Cascadin trying to get me to run a Cadillac, and I'm just not sold on caddies. I just see too many front wheels getting ripped off. That's the part that
that would
scares
go
me.
against everything that you did this year. Steering is so key.
Yeah, you just gotta. Yeah, to me, it was just keep it simple. You know what I mean? Simple yet effective, and what I'm comfortable with. And so maybe next year, if I can get another Olds or wagon or something, an old GM like that, I'd probably take it. But I don't know.
Evan, wherever they grow those Fords at, you just let me know. I'm gonna send you a check.
Yeah, I gotta find a bunch more of them because I think once I'm out of those Fords, I'm pretty much done. I don't know. I was a diehard 98-02 guy, and I was told everyone those older ones were overrated, didn't need them. 98-02 would fold them, and going for an hour and a half, and I used it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wasn't out there burning anyone's world down or anything, but I used her pretty hard quite a few times, and it never wiggled in the back. It took like the rear rails humped up like a quarter, like a push straight forward like a quarter inch on the one side, and the front didn't even wiggle.
And dude, you're a good driver, so it's not like, and you kind of hinted towards this. It's not like you're out there going ass to ass or ass to nose and blowing things apart. Like you're taking pretty calculated shots. So your car, all three of our cars are going to hold up a little longer than most because you're not blowing people apart. You can't.
Yeah, me being a Ford guy for so long, I kind of know that you gotta. We always said it like I was a compact guy for the longest time, and you just gotta drive to what you have. Like if you have an Imperial, you can get that thing north and south, and just drive in reverse all night long and junk everything in your way. But in a Vic, you kind of gotta stick and move and just keep moving and stay out of everyone's way, and hopefully you can just get around people a little quicker.
Yep.
Well, guys, it was awesome sharing the track with you. I appreciate you guys coming on. It will be fun. I'm sure we'll hit the track again together, and we'll get. I expect you guys to be down there. Basically, anticipate you guys to be down there every time. So, I'm sure we'll trade some paint again. And it was congrats, Easy, on the win, man.
Yeah, congrats, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Make sure
congrats.
you enjoy that.
How's
Yeah,
it-
we're going on a little trip and fixing my motor. That's
Good
about all
deal.
I got planned for it.
Good. I'm glad we all made it down to the end and we could have this talk and share our stories. So
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that GoPro footage when you were driving right next to me and I had to flash that smile when you were backing up.
yeah.
I was like, I've been looking pretty miserable. I gotta let them know I'm having fun.
Yeah, you did. You did flash me one smile. It was fun. So I'll get that stuff out there. If you guys got anything you guys want to plug, I know if you guys can, anyone watching, if you guys can follow and like our social medias. I know you guys have some social media stuff. You guys got the parts business. Evan, you got anything?
Nope. Just my Facebook.
You
I
need
got
to
enough
you need
friend
to create
requests
an
the past
easy
couple
E.
days.
You need to create an easy E follow page. Everybody will be
Yeah.
following that now.
Oh, for sure. I mean, when you went, how many friend requests have you got?
I don't know. They started pouring in and with how many people told me congratulations and the friend request, I just shut my Facebook notifications off for a little bit. I had to quit listening to it.
You're a damn superstar now, man.
That's it.
Yeah. Hopefully everyone forgets about me over winter. I can fly under the radar again.
Yeah. Well, guys, thanks again for coming on. Appreciate you guys taking the time, and
Yeah.
we'll
Thanks for
see you
having
guys
us.
around.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
Yep. See ya.
Yep. Bye.